RAAM has been absolutely a life-changing experience to me.
The race happened so slowly compared to any other race I have done. You get to experience the country, not just to see it.
I did not expect the team experience to be what it was. The intimacy of spending certainly a week on the road with people, the preparation before, and then the journey home after the completion. It was just, it's really indescribable and life-changing. And I think for all that, I've made friends that I'll have forever.
RAAM was more than I ever expected it to be. There's just so many different levels to RAAM. It's just not about going out and riding your bike. I am just a normal person who had a goal and set out to achieve that goal.
If there's anything in sports I'm most proud of ever accomplishing, it was finishing tandem RAAM twice. You've got to be in sync with your teammates. You've got to be in sync with your crew. You have just got to be prepared for this like nothing you've ever been prepared for in your life.
The feeling when you finish RAAM is an incredible sense of accomplishment and satisfaction.
I'm Micky Dymond, former motocross and supermoto champion. Follow me as I attempt the biggest challenge of my life, the race across America. In 2007, when I really got serious into supermoto and I needed my fitness back, I started cycling again. I'd always been a fan of Tour de France and I always loved to follow that event. And even while I was racing, I was still following it. And I did have a small budget and I bought a couple of nice bikes and I became hooked again. And I rode with another racer, a guy named Mike Bell, and he knew a lot about cycling and he took me to another level. And Joe Lawwell was another guy and he lent me his bike and I did a lot of mountain biking with Joe. And that took me all the way to late 2007, and then I met Brenda Lyons. Brenda Lyons was a retired pro racer. She's taught me more about cycling in a year's time than I ever knew through the entire 80s and 90s when I did dabble in training for motocross. She was so strong that I really had to develop myself as a better cyclist. And I designed some epic rides for me. They were like, a 40-mile ride was huge. After a couple of those, I realized that she was holding back and man, she was just kicking my butt. I couldn't allow myself to just get handled so bad. So I snuck off and I did more training. And when I would go with Brenda, I would try to maintain my composure. When I would go without, I'd push my limits, but she would still just be kicking my butt. I'm committed now, and I don't want to go and start this race and not finish it. And I don't want to go get smoked either, I don't want to come in just like barely under the time limit. I want to do good. I'm riding, doing my rides, and I have a mapped out schedule, and I'm trying to stay on it. This weekend I'm doing 250 days in a row, and I haven't done that yet, so there'll be a little stepping stone. Each time I do 100, 100 is easy now. My ideas right now are to work with as many people that have experience with RAAM to design a schedule that is within my wheelhouse, yet along the lines of endurance training. I have a lot of work to do, and I'm lucky enough to know quite a few people that have ridden in RAAM or who race bicycles. And then I have my own ideas based on what I've read and what I've learned about successful solo cyclists that have ridden RAAM. Many times in my life, I've overtrained and run myself down and hurt myself. For this year, I'm going to follow the RAAM race, hopefully duck in with some crews and pick up as much as I can and witness the whole event and take it all in. After that, after RAAM runs in June, I plan to do one of the 200-mile RAAM Challenge events, and then I will do one 400-mile RAAM Challenge before the end of the year so that I can qualify for 2014. In my younger years, I would just show up and wing it and ride, whether I was fit or not. I had a lot of talent on a motorcycle, so I didn't have to do so much work, and some of it came way too easy. And when I rode for Honda, when I was on such a great bike, it came so easy I didn't appreciate it, and that's a big regret that I have. But I'm not that guy anymore, so I will prepare myself for this. I'm gonna have to learn a bunch between now and 2014 when I line up, but I'm also gonna have to develop myself and witness what it is through trial and error. And to be honest, how can you do that for a 3,000-mile race? Maybe a few of the challenge series are gonna be my best indicators of what I'm getting into. Your fitness on the motorcycle, when you get tired, your performance drops off and then the risk factor goes up, and then you can get beat because of your fitness. In a sense, a 100-mile bike ride, if you worked pretty hard, you did a lot of climbing, would be the equivalent of a really hard-fought battle on a motocross track for like 40 minutes. I didn't get to win the things that I won because I didn't listen, and I'm stubborn and I'm fiery, but I'm not an idiot. I will listen, and I'm at the mercy of everybody that I'm asking help or guidance or support. Every person that has raced a bike or ridden a bike, especially anybody that's done RAAM, has all kinds of knowledge that I don't have. I guess the bottom line is I just want to feel every little bit of it and witness it, and I want to finish it. I'm prepared to do everything I can to get it done.
Now we're going to introduce you to the teams and individuals we are going to be following and riding the line.
Christoph Strasser is a 3-time solo RAAM racer from Leoben, Austria. He now lives in an ideal location for ultra cycling in Graz, Austria, on the border of Slovenia. After taking a DNF due to pneumonia during his first RAAM in 2009, Christoph came back to win RAAM in 2011 and placed second in 2012. At 20 years old, Christoph knew he would participate in RAAM one day after trying his first 24-hour race in 2002 and being infected with the ultra-cycling passion. He then began doing longer races like Race Across the Alps and went on to win the Ultra Cycling World Championship and qualifying for RAAM both in 2007. Christoph is one of the youngest ultra cyclists. He is only 30 years old and has completed over 30 ultra cycling events. As current RAAM champion, Rito Schuch will return for a second RAAM in 2013 to defend his title. The Swiss ultracyclist comes from Tofen, Switzerland, and now lives nearby in Gas, Switzerland, a perfect location for training. Although he started out racing mountain bikes, Rito noticed he got stronger toward the end of longer rides and soon caught the ultracycling virus. His victories in Race Across the Alps and Tortur in 2011 proved that ultracycling was his strongest discipline due to his mental strength. With all the right conditions, Rito returns this June with hope to turn his vision to cross the U.S. in under 8 days into a reality. Chris Ragsdale will be the Rookie of RAAM this June, coming in with impressive accomplishments in ultracycling, including setting the 1,000-kilometer world record in 2010 and 5 back-to-back national 24-hour wins. Originally from Grand Haven, Michigan, and now living in Seattle, Washington, Chris balances training with his full-time job and raising a family. Chris didn't always feel that RAAM was the race for him, although it never was a question of his ability.
Paris was the turning point that made Chris desire to find out what he was capable of with RAAM. He will be focusing on what is possible, ignoring the odds, and pushing himself to his full capabilities. For RAAM 2013, Team 4 Mill will join up with British team Strategic Lions to create an 8-man team called the Allied Forces. Consisting of 4 men from the U.S. military and 4 men from the British Armed Forces, the Allied Forces are determined to set a new RAAM record this June. These men come from varying backgrounds of Ironman and ultra cycling experience and have both RAAM rookies and experts on their team. Although breaking the record is important to Team 4 Mill, their number one goal remains to raise awareness and provide assistance to wounded veterans, as well as to honor their sacrifices and those who have chosen to support them. Team Love, Sweat and Gears is an all-women's team made up of 4 native Coloradoans. After racing RAW in 2010, they had to tackle the challenge of RAAM and place first in 2012. Julie, Ann, Heather, and Lisa come from different backgrounds of top-level competitive cycling and triathlons and love the idea of being challenged and spending time on their bikes. They attracted a lot of local support in their first attempt to set a record and felt they had learned a lot about the race and about themselves. This June, they are prepared to try again and are committed to break the women's Team RAAM record. Thanks for checking out Riding the Line. Stay tuned for episode 2 coming in April.